Now, forewarned weather with Ashlee Baracy.
Well, we are tracking a warm Wednesday, but it comes with some turbulent weather as far as potentially a couple rounds of showers and storms. And so the first wave comes with a warm front that's currently lifting across lower Michigan, creating enough instability off to our west. And as we see that track eastward, it's going to take some time for this low pressure system down to our southwest to kind of ride along that front and work its way here towards Metro Detroit. But you can see that there's quite a bit of rain down with that low, and that's going to potentially bring the more severe threat as we head into the later part of the evening. And so kind of round 1, 2 on tap. They bleed together just a little bit, but you'll see the difference in a moment. I'm putting our 3D radar on to show you all the lightning off on the west side of the state, but that's tracking mainly to the northeast. So with the afternoon and evening potential, we have issued a forewarned weather alert for strong to severe thunderstorms. So let's break this down for you. Early this morning, Storm Prediction Center, who puts out what we call convective outlooks, the severe threat for today, expanded that level 3 risk to now include western Wayne County, also expanding the level 2 slight risk that you see in yellow all the way up into the majority of the thumb. So most of southeastern Michigan either under a level 2 or level 3 risk, in which we all are dealing with the potential for damaging wind gusts upward of 70 miles per hour, large hail that could exceed an inch in diameter, flooding as we will have pockets of really heavy rainfall, and the possibility of a few rotating storms. So that's even elevated from what we would call an isolated tornado. So I'm not saying that we're absolutely going to see tornadic activity or the large hail, but all the ingredients will be in the atmosphere for it to potentially happen. So now let's talk timeline. 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., I think you start to see some scattered development. Now, some of these could reach severe limits, but the better chance for some severe storms will be round 2 into the evening. And I'm likely going to maybe even bump that up to about 6 p.m. to midnight, where we have the heavier rain coming down as well. Temperature-wise, we're starting off on either side of 70 across the area, but with that rain arriving in the peak heat of the day, that's going to keep those temperatures similar to yesterday. So we'll kind of top out, I should say, around 84 degrees. Hour by hour look at what we have ahead. And so as we go into the middle part of the day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you start to see some of those storms rolling through. But then once we get past 6 or 7, there's more of that robust development that's going to take us into the later part of the evening, with some rain lingering tonight. But the severe threat should be over by the time we get to midnight. You might get some light rain for the first half of tomorrow before we begin to dry things out. And so let's talk totals. Through today into early tomorrow, there's a likelihood of picking up an inch to an inch and a half across a good chunk of southeast Michigan, where some areas could even see some isolated pockets closer to 3 inches. And so if you are in an area that is flood prone, you want to make sure you're checking on those sump pumps, because we're going to get a lot of rain in a short amount of time. Heat wave, dome of heat builds in this weekend into early next week. We're talking temperatures rising into the mid 90s, and that's not even factoring in the heat indices. And so here's a quick look at what it's going to feel like Sunday into early next week. Triple-digit heat indices, and that comes with a dry, sunny stretch. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated. But we do have to get past our forewarned weather alert this afternoon, and then we'll talk more about the possibility of dangerous heat, especially going into Ford Fireworks Monday.
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
I guess we have to talk about the weather.
I suppose we do.
We wanted to dwell on the Funketeers.
I know, golden buzzer for the guys. Not quite in their golden years, but they're getting there.
They gave me chills.
I love those guys. The crowd going nuts like that. That's just always cool.
And I'm also like, okay, dance obviously is good for the joints, the hips, the knees, because, you know, after a certain age, it starts getting hard to move like that.
Still getting down.
Still getting down 45 years later. It's awesome.
No, I was going to say, those are the moves where, your joints are fine because they have no choice but to keep going well.
You got to keep moving.
That's right. So today, kind of a big day in the weather department, though.
Very big day. So we already have these bubble-up showers and non-severe storms on radar, but this isn't even the severe threat. That's going to be this afternoon. So talk about an inconvenient day as we have rounds of wet weather and some warm temperatures on tap. So starting off on a warm note, and that's kind of energizing. What we're dealing with here is a warm front's lifting through, but you see the scattered variety of showers and, like I said, non-severe storms, because we do have some lightning, but we haven't seen any of these reach severe limits. So this one little cell that's kind of west of Farmington Hills, that's going to track towards West Bloomfield within the next 2 minutes, but it's going to be coming down in Bloomfield Hills probably within about 10 minutes as far as that heavy downpour. One lightning strike with that. However, that's the cell that's in Novi tracking in that direction, but you're not done with it yet, because the cell that's off just west of Romulus, that's going to eventually work its way into Northville, 7:45, and Novi at 7:51. So if you're in the 12 Oaks Mall area, you're going to see that before 8 a.m. That's a tracker for you. Celine will see another round of some rain within the next 10 minutes. But as far as our lightning strikes, this view picking up 85 strikes across the area. So rumbles of thunder, giving you a little more street level mapping as far as where the rain is heaviest for your commute. Well, north of I-94 along Michigan Avenue and Willow Run, we do have that pocket of heavy rain. So that could lead to some ponding and pooling, some moderate showers coming down along Ford Road in Canton. And then as we travel up towards Farmington, that's where we have that heavier shower kind of draping 696 and south towards Clarenceville. And so that's going to be impactful for some of the Oakland County commuters. As we travel off towards Bloomfield Hills, right now some light rain that's draping not only Bloomfield Hills, but I-75 towards Troy. So we will have a little bit of standing water this morning, a rumble of thunder or two. That's just inconvenient. What we have ahead for this afternoon and evening could reach strong to severe limits. So that's why we've issued a forewarned weather alert for really the second half of the day. So let's break down that for you. We have an enhanced level 3 risk for severe weather on a 5-level scale from Metro Airport on west. The rest of southeastern Michigan pretty much under that slight level 2 risk, but all of us have all the threats on the table for today. Wind gusts could exceed 70 miles per hour. We could have hail over an inch in diameter. Flooding possible as we pick up 1 to maybe even 3 inches of rain, and that comes mainly with the second round. And then we could have some rotating storms with either round today. First one being midday after the lunch hour, second one later into the evening. So when I say an inch in diameter with hail, well, what does that mean? Well, an inch would be about a quarter size hail, and then just above that would be ping pong size. So putting that in perspective for you, the type of hail we could see. Warm front is lifting. You see that draping lower Michigan, creating those scattered showers for us. Now, what's south of Chicago, north of Indy, I think that's what round 1 will be around the lunch hour. Round 2 is the more robust low pressure system that'll bring some heavy rain into our forecast. So as we tilt radar for you, see a lot of lightning north of Indianapolis, north of Grand Rapids, and working its way here into southeastern Michigan as we're showing you what's right under the cloud layer there. And then I do want to give you a little slice of radar to show you just how tall some of these storms are. So the one that's over the Plymouth-Canton area, stretching about 30,000 feet in the atmosphere, that's going to give you those billowing cumulus clouds. So you'll see those rolling through. Temperature-wise, we are in the 70s, and the taller those storms get later on this afternoon, the more severe they'll be, with possibly damaging straight-line winds, or we could see some rotation. 85 for the afternoon high today. We get in the mid-80s right around mid-afternoon as the heat of the day and those showers roll through. Here's a timeline for you. So right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you start to see those scattered showers coming with round 1. After 6 is round 2, and the heavy rain will likely be between about 7 and 10 o'clock into the evening, with more rain lingering as we go into tomorrow morning before drying out into the afternoon. As far as the rainfall forecast, once again, 1 to 3 inches. Greater amounts will be to the north. And then our next weather maker, the heat. A dome of hot temperatures will be over the Great Lakes this weekend into early next week, where temperatures rise into the mid-90s, starting on Sunday into early next week, with heat indices in the triple digits. So I want you to be aware of that if you're planning on going to the Ford fireworks on Monday, as we could have some dangerous heat in the forecast starting this weekend into early next week.